Who knows?
Huffy, turn the light in the kitchen on.
Dude, it's gonna make it. It's gonna look worse.
I promise the better lighting does not make you look worse.
Oh,
okay?
yeah.
It's not gonna make it look better, is what I'm saying.
You definitely look at least 8% better.
See, Austin says you're better. And because you're better, we can kick it off. Welcome to Pro Football Focus episode 19, everybody. I'm Hunter. With me as always is Austin.
What's going on?
We have a special guest host, Nick Charles Huffman.
Hey, yo.
A.k.a. Chuffman.
That's my street name.
Jake is busy with other things. And finally, I feel like Barack Obama at the end of his presidential term because we got him. We got Rick Haynes on the show, the elusive Rick Haynes. Welcome.
He's been ducking us for weeks, and here he is for all the viewers.
Rick, do you want to tell our 30 subscribers a little bit about yourself and what your favorite football team is?
So I went to high school with Hunter, Austin, and Jake. My favorite football team is the Pittsburgh Steelers, as you might have been able to tell. And yeah. That's it. I'm glad to be here.
Nick's happy to be on the show, dude.
Well, I would start the Hot 32 right now, but I have to add Huffy to this Google Doc real quick.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, that's fair.
Thank you.
You can't leave Huff out of the fucking Google Doc.
All right. Well, I emailed it to him, and he's third on the list, so hopefully he'll have enough time to open it if we start it right now. Out in Arizona, the Cardinals have cut quarterback Josh Rosen and wide receiver Hakeem Butler.
The Cardinals had Josh Rosen?
No,
he was on the Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Strong start, dude.
Cut Hakeem Butler.
All right. Well, in Atlanta, Matt Ryan made a $500,000 donation to Atlanta's black community and set up a fundraiser with a $2 million goal. Matty Ice, dude, making a difference.
In Baltimore, rookie running back J.K. Dobbins is earning a significant role on the offense. Let's see how he fits in with Lamar.
In Buffalo, the Bills have placed fullback Patrick DeMarco on injured reserve.
Not good.
It's a shame.
You hate to see it.
Carolina, starting tight end Ian Thomas injured his foot in practice.
You need a foot to play tight end. In Chicago, the Bears named Mitchell Trubisky their Week 1 starting QB over the veteran journeyman and Super Bowl champion Nick Foles.
I did not.
Wow.
Yeah, Bears fans are pissed.
Up in Cincy, my guy Joe Mixon inked a 4-year, $48 million extension, and Joe Burrow posted a steamy practice pic on Instagram.
Ooh. What's that supposed to mean, dude? How are you going to put that on there and not pop it in there for us to see?
The pic, it was pretty steamy.
Dang.
Wow. The Cleveland Browns have acquired safety Ronnie Harrison from the Jaguars for a 5th-round pick.
In Dallas, defensive end Randy Gregory was conditionally reinstated by Commissioner Roger Goodell and will be available to the Cowboys about mid-season.
That's got to feel good to get that call from Roger, letting you back in. The Denver Broncos released linebacker Todd Davis.
Up in Detroit, left tackle Taylor Decker signs a 6-year, $85 million contract extension.
That's that blindside money, dude.
Yeah, you got to protect your QB.
Green Bay Packers official team branded masks are now available.
We usually have merchandise news for the Packers for some reason.
And so the website where I was getting all this information, it said this mask thing for every team, but that was just the most interesting thing I could think of for the Packers. But in Houston, this is breaking news as of about 20 minutes ago. The Texans and Deshaun Watson have agreed on what is a seemingly pedestrian amount after the Patrick Mahomes deal. They've agreed on a $160 million contract with about $111 million guaranteed.
Well, how many years is that, Hunter? Is that a 1-year contract?
It's probably a 5-year contract.
Oh, man. That's nothing, dude. He's going to be broke when he retires.
That's why I said it's seemingly pedestrian.
Yeah, well, you know what else is pedestrian? Ryan Kelly. The Colts signed him to a 4-year, $50 million contract extension, making him the highest paid center in the NFL.
How's that pedestrian?
Yeah, wants that money. Down in Duval, Kaylavon Chason is going to play defensive end for the Jaguars.
Wow. It's got big
Kansas City, we have nearly 700 members of the extended Chiefs family receiving Super Bowl rings, which is kind of strange to me. Just
You got
getting
the
those things
equipment,
out.
guys?
I imagine they're not all like blinged out.
Yeah.
People on the team probably get the good ones, but we can talk.
Okay.
They got some like the high school like class ring type things.
The ones with
Yeah.
the fake diamonds.
Yeah.
But LA, the old Chargers, poor Derwin James is out 6 to 8 months after surgery to repair his meniscus.
My favorite Madden player. The LA Rams and Casey's fantasy quarterback in our frat league, Jared Goff, ranks 17th in PFF's QB rankings.
It's not very good.
Not good at all. I think it should be worse than that.
Las Vegas first-round cornerback Damon Arnett suffered a fractured thumb.
The Miami Dolphins have cut, I believe they should say Josh Rosen.
Josh
Rosen,
Rosen.
doesn't it?
Even more, honestly.
Interesting. All right. Well, sorry, Josh, for all the slander this week. But in Minnesota, the Vikings end a long dispute down in Jacksonville by freeing Yannick Ngakoue from the Jaguars for a second-round pick.
You know,
Wow.
that news had been a talk of the show since our inception, and it's finally good to see where he's going. In New England, Cam Newton was named the starting QB over Jarrett Stidham. He was also voted as a team captain.
Down the Big Easy, the Saints are playing hardball with Alvin Kamara by saying that they are willing to trade him. Rumor has it that they are also in hot pursuit of free agency to Jadeveon Clowney.
New York Giants owner John Mara will support players who kneel for the national anthem.
This is a KC Jets fan insider exclusive. The New York Jets release linebacker James Burgess.
It's quite the loss.
Yeah.
Philadelphia, apparently contract negotiations between Eagles tight end Zach Ertz have come to an abrupt halt.
But they have Dallas Goedert waiting in the wings.
They got Big D, dude.
They'll be fine. And Pittsburgh, Terrell Edmonds boldly claims that the sky is the limit for the 2020 Steelers defense with coming back.
49ers coach Mike McGlinchey is looking to build on strong finish. No, not the coach. I'm sorry.
He's
I don't
a
know who
hoss.
Mike. Okay. 49ers host Mike McGlinchey looking to build on strong finish to 2019 season.
I do not know who Mike McGlinchey is, dude. He's a great Madden tackle.
I think he went to
Hunter, I haven't been in the Madden game for over a year now, and I
He's
just
not
I
a great-
didn't even draft my team. I just picked my favorite team.
He's a good real-life tackle.
We can redraft.
Oh, I know that's music to Hunter's ears.
It's really not. I like my team. But in Seattle,
Okay.
the Seahawks signed wide receiver Josh Gordon.
In Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers look even more like Super Bowl contenders after signing freshly cut Jaguars running back Leonard Fournette.
And in Tennessee, the Titans are rumored to be one of the two teams hot on the trail of Jadeveon Clowney. They're going to have a test with the New Orleans Saints.
And last but not least, the Washington football team released veteran halfback Adrian Peterson. Wow.
Really thought you were going to say the R word there, Rick.
Yeah, Rick, thanks for not dropping the R bomb because a couple guys
would
have.
never.
Dude.
Yeah.
I would never.
But as our special and honorary guest, is that a bang?
It sure is.
Is
Honey.
that cotton candy bang?
No, this is Rainbow Unicorn.
Oh,
Wow.
that's pretty tough,
Gnarly.
Rick.
Starting the day off right. But since
Yeah.
you're our honorary and special guest, Rick, you get to pick a topic you'd like to talk more about that's not a Steelers story.
Can we talk about I guess Cam Newton up in New England?
Yeah, we sure can. What do you
Yeah.
think about that?
I'm seeing Bill Belichick's calling him perhaps the hardest worker that he's ever had as head coach of the New England Patriots.
Have you seen the list that Bill Belichick has said that exact same thing about?
No, I have not.
Rick, every
Which is why I
year
wanted to
since
bring
like
it up.
2001, Belichick has said that same quote about just a random player.
Austin, where did you send that?
It's in, I think it might be
So-
in Twitter or something.
So I would like to know: is this an elite list? Are these guys all savages, or is
I mean,
it just?
You got
does
like
it-
Wes Welker, you got like
Okay.
James Devlin.
Okay.
You got some real hard nosed like.
So is it good company or not?
I
That's
got
the
the list.
question.
I got the list right here, and it dates
Okay.
back to 2016. So Bill Belichick says nobody works harder than Cam Newton. Here's some other players who have received the exact same praise: Tom Brady in 2018, Wes Welker in 2017 as a coach, Danny Amendola 2017, Brandon Cooks in 2017, Dion Lewis 2016, James Devlin in 2016, Gerard Mayo in 2016, Dietrich Wise in 2018,
Oof.
M. Slater, don't know who that is, 2019.
Matt Slater, dude, the perennial Pro Bowl punt coverage guy.
It works very hard.
He works so hard.
T. Wright in 2014, don't know who that is, and Steven Gostowski in 2016. So, I mean, it's pretty good company, I guess.
A lot of Super Bowl champions on that list.
Yeah, I don't think Bill Belichick would say that about you if he didn't think you were working hard.
Right.
Yeah, but you can't all be the hardest worker.
Now, Rick, what do you think about him also being named a team captain after only being there for like a month?
Yeah, Rick, as a
Well-
former team captain, what do you think about that?
I think when nobody's working hard, then it's just an obvious pick. You know.
That's true.
I think Cam Newton's like a natural leader. He seems to just have a commanding presence. So I think it's just a good fit for him. You know.
Do you think his laptop stealing days are behind him?
I would hope so. He has a lot of money now.
Do you think he ever heard about the story of when they put the Scam Newton jersey on the Bear Bryant statue?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he's at least heard of it. There's, I feel like that's something that everybody needs to know.
Yeah.
So, Rick, what's your prediction for the Patriots this year? What do you think their record is?
Okay. I think that I think they make the playoffs. I think at least they sneak into at least a wild card spot. I think Bill Belichick figures out life after Tom.
Do you
Rick,
think,
over or under 9 wins?
Over.
do you think they have a better record than the Buffalo Bills at the end of the season?
Ooh.
Do his dirty work.
That's yeah. I think it's going to be a toss. I think it's going to be I think that division should be a little more even this year, I guess. The Bills are looking good.
Rick's just afraid to say because he
It's-
knows the room, dude. If this was a private conversation, Rick could be talking shit right now, dude.
I don't know about that. I think the Bills have really come a long way as a franchise. They definitely been delivering a better product than they have in years past. But at the same time, I just have learned in my years of being a football fan, you just don't ever fucking count Bill Belichick out.
And you don't ever count
It's
the
not a
Bills
good
in.
idea.
That's what I've learned.
Circles the
Yeah,
wagon.
the Bills are kind of known to let people down. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sucks. Huffy, what interests you on the Hot 32?
Do you think Tampa Bay is a true Super Bowl contender with this absolutely stacked offense?
Yeah, how would they not be?
I'm just curious.
yeah.
Sometimes when you try and put together a super team, all of a sudden the chemistry doesn't work. For some reason, it's not working out.
But Tom Brady has all the chemistry he needs. He has Gronk.
I think as long as Tom Brady has Scotty Miller in the slot, he'll be just fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I definitely think the Bucks are going to do very, very good.
Is Deshaun Watson's contract an extension, or is it just like a new contract? Because I saw it's 4 years for 160. I didn't know if it was an extension.
I mean, if you re-sign with your team, that's a contract extension, no?
I didn't know if his contract was up like this summer or not.
Wait, it's 4 years for how much?
I don't know how many years it is.
It's 4 years, 160 with a $27 million signing bonus.
4 years, 160. And Patrick Mahomes got 10 years, 500.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like how you let Bill O'Brien just rob you like that, dude, after he traded away DeAndre Hopkins?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I would
mean,
have tested free agency.
you had to have room to sign Deshaun to this mega deal.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good deal for the Texans, honestly.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But I don't know. I feel like Deshaun Watson is a pretty good quarterback, and you kind of got to put some pieces around him. Rick,
Dude,
what do
they
you
got
think
Will
about
Fuller. They got Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks, Kenny Stills. Pieces, dude. David Johnson.
Eddie Stills.
what do you think about the pieces around Deshaun Watson, Rick?
I think it probably it leaves a lot to be desired, I'd say.
What do you think about them trading 2 first-round picks for Laramie Tunzel, signing him to a ginormous contract, and then he opts out for COVID?
That one hurts, I guess. But
I mean,
I
they
think
don't have to pay him this year.
yeah, he'll
They
just
still
get
give
like
up 2
300
first-round.
grand or something. Yeah, it probably not conducive to winning football games, but I guess sometimes guys have to make the best decision for their families.
Listen, 2 first-round picks for maybe like the 5th best left tackle in football is pretty good.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of joshing, yeah. It's a good segue if you want to talk about Josh Rosen, Austin, but you can talk about whatever you want.
Josh Rosen?
Yeah.
I mean,
Rush.
I kind of want to talk about the Bears, dude. What are they doing here? Like,
We can't start Nick Foles.
haven't you seen enough of Mitch Trubisky over the last 2 years to know
dude.
that he's fucking ass?
From what I hear, Austin, he impressed in camp. So
Anybody
like
can
a-
impress in camp, dude, against
He
the
looks-
fucking on the Bears.
I
No,
believe
the
I
Bears-
saw that he looks like an entirely new player.
Well,
Wow.
Rick's getting this inside camp
organization.
information. Maybe this is his breakout year. Maybe I should pick him up in fantasy.
Remember when he was drafted and everybody shared that old tweet of his that said that he loves titties?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I think all
cool,
things
dude.
considering, you look at what was the Bills quarterback? He had a pretty bad social media post.
Oh, yeah, Josh Allen was racist, I think.
No, not Josh
no.
Allen. The guy that Jake Fromm.
Yeah,
Oh,
Jake Fromm.
oh. Well, I'm
We
pretty
didn't
sure
bring up
Josh Allen
Allen's-
and Jake Fromm had
Oh,
Hunter, we don't talk about
Seems like a
people
trend.
don't know about Josh Allen's tweet. We don't talk about him.
He had a moment with Deion Sanders after he was drafted that was a little tense. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Now he's posting pics with Stephon Diggs for this good PR, but
Yeah.
I don't
dude.
know.
Listen, Mitch Trubisky last year, 15 games, 17 touchdowns. That's just breakout potential right there, written all over it.
That's over a touchdown a game.
How many interceptions?
NFL. How
And-
many people can do that?
You got the stats, Huffy? How many interceptions?
10.
What was his QBR?
Under 60.
Doesn't say his QBR, but his completion percentage was 63.
How many pressures did his offensive line allow on the
Hold up.
He doesn't have the next gen stats up.
I haven't subscribed and pay that monthly.
Well, I just think it's a silly decision, but I'm sure they'll get him out of there week 3. Put Nick Foles in.
But yeah, what do you guys think about the Dolphins / Cardinals cutting Josh Rosen?
Very surprising.
You're surprised?
Yeah.
You
Well,
think
who-
anybody's going to jump on him? Rick, do you think the Steelers are a good home for Josh Rosen?
Would you rather have him?
Not.
What do
All
you
right,
mean
Rick.
probably
It's
not?
week
He's
5.
better
The
than
Steelers are 5-0. Big
Okay.
Ben just tore his.
whatever
He
shoulder
was,
thing is.
yeah, he was riding
His
a
elbow.
motorcycle around. He fell off, hurt his arm.
I don't think he drives motorcycles anymore after the incident.
Well, all right, he's driving around his truck. A motorcycle crashes into him, hurts his arm. You got Duck Hodges or you got fucking Josh Rosen, dude. Who are you throwing in? You're 5-0.
I mean,
Take Josh
I
Rosen.
would. Yeah, you have to take Josh Rosen, but he's not on the team. I don't think they're gonna
All right.
pick him up. So
I think they could sign Josh Rosen. Is Mason Rudolph still on the team?
yeah,
Is Duck Hodges still on the team?
yes.
I bet one of them won't be by the time training camp is over, and I could see him bringing in Josh. You heard it here first.
I completely disagree with that, Hunter. I think that's like who they're going with for right now.
I
Yeah,
don't
And then
think
they have
Tomlin likes in-house
they have
guys.
Paxton Lynch as like a
Oh.
practice team fourth guy.
Ooh,
So I don't
forgot
think they're
about
bringing
that.
him in. So
Josh Rosen's better than all three of those guys, maybe.
that's the thing. Maybe you don't know.
I wonder how he looked in camp. I don't know
I
if he ever.
mean, probably not good if Tua looks bad in camp and you cut him.
I mean, if they just cut him, I don't think he's looking too good.
There's rumors Tua looked bad in camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Didn't you watch the podcast last week, Huff?
But yeah, I guess that was the Hot 32. So most exciting news of the week, I think, is that officially 2 days ago, it'll be a week out that football starts, where we have the Chiefs and the Texans on next Thursday, I believe. So football in less than a week. Are you guys excited? I think we all obviously are. And are there any week 1 games you guys are looking forward to?
Well, dang, dude.
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm excited to watch the Steelers go out on Monday Night Football, prime time. It's going to be sweet. Get it kicked off right.
Who do
Hopefully,
they play?
pick up a dub. The Giants.
Ooh, the Giants. And what's your prediction on that game, Rick? You think the Steelers are going to take that?
So I think we're just going to have to. The whole season's, in my opinion, going to kind of ride on if Big Ben still has it.
Yeah.
The defense is really
Defense-
good.
yeah.
So the defense is going to do their thing, and it's just going to. Last year, our offense was really bad because we had the rotating, the Duck and then the Mason Rudolph, who were both really bad. So I think if Big Ben, if he can get that connection going with we have like Deontay Johnson, James Washington. I guess Chase Claypool is going to be a monster, but we'll see.
Yeah, Peter Schrager did say that. But Rick, I saw that no quarterback has ever come back and had a successful season after the surgery that Big Ben just had.
Really?
That's
Yeah.
what they're saying about Adrian
Yeah.
Peterson before he ran for 2,000 yards,
To
dude.
be fair, I think that Adrian Peterson is a different kind of athlete than Big Ben.
I don't know about that.
I don't know, Hunter.
All
I
right.
don't know.
We're talking about Big Ben, dude.
Okay.
Think about all the abuse he's taken over the years.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
he's
Haloti
very
Nada, Ray
resilient.
Lewis, Terrell
Yeah.
Suggs.
Remember that one time that he like stiff armed Terrell Suggs and then threw the ball out of bounds, and the announcer said it was the best play he's ever seen.
That's not
It's a
crazy.
real Hall of Fame play, dude.
Incomplete pass, best play he's ever seen. He did avoid the sack though, so it was cool.
All right, so for my week 1, dude, obviously I want to see the Bills against the Jets. As a biased Bills fan, I gotta see that.
Is it
But-
Buck Saints?
Yeah.
The Bucks Saints, dude.
Oh yes.
Drew Brees, Tom Brady. They're old, but they'll be fresh off the offseason.
Check out this time slot. What are you going to be watching? You're going to be watching Chargers, Bengals. You're going to be watching Cardinals, Niners. Or you're going to be watching Bucks Saints with Tom Brady and Drew Brees.
Why didn't they make that the night game, dude?
I don't know.
That would make sense.
Sunday night is Rams Cowboys, dude.
Yeah, that's fucking
America's team.
They should have definitely made it Bucks Saints, but I will definitely be watching that game
Oh, for
after
sure.
the Bills game concludes.
I mean, that Niners Cardinals game is going to be interesting.
Niners, Cardinals.
I have Kyler and DeAndre Hopkins in my stepdad's work league. My team's name is Cobra Kyler, and I hope the Niners don't shut DeAndre down.
I mean, they got Richard.
Yeah, they do have Richard. Other intriguing Week 1 matchups that I'm seeing here: Dolphins Patriots. If Tua starts, I think that could be cool. Also, seeing Cam in action would be interesting.
I would like to see the Dolphins started off with a dub and just really fuck. I hope the Patriots get bullied, dude, by the division.
I don't want to see that. I want the Patriots to be perennially good like they always are.
So isn't Ryan Fitzpatrick the starter in Miami?
Yeah.
His mom just died.
Okay.
And he's
Yeah, but I mean I think he'll be playing Week 1.
Maybe not, Rick. I don't know.
If anyone can just be thrown into a Week 1 matchup against the Patriots, it's Ryan Fitzpatrick. He played for the Bills. He played for the Jets. He played for the Dolphins, dude. He's played the Patriots quite a few times.
Yeah.
He's had some like fairy tale wins against him.
Last one real quick. Jags Colts. Don't really have high hopes for it, but the Jags do usually have Phillip Rivers' number, so that's interesting.
Ooh.
I will be tuning into that game to see what's happening, dude.
Yeah.
I do have one more game to add to that, and that is the Ravens-Browns, just because I want to see Lamar be spicy, and I always like watching Odell play.
How is Lamar Jackson going to be at all spicy against inflated Myles Garrett
Yeah.
Oh, no. He'll just run to the other side.
and Olivier Vernon?
I'm not worried about that. He's on the cover of Madden. He's going to be MVP.
Also, the player to watch in that game is Nick Chubb because he tends to have quite the game against the Ravens.
Nick
He usually
Chubb's
runs
good.
for about 3 tutters.
Yeah. So, okay. Second thing on the list, Madden came out last week. I think I know at least 3 of us have been playing it a good amount. Rick, you just got it. You've been playing it a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
So, Rick, I feel like you might have the most divisive, not necessarily divisive, but you are not a Madden dick rider like the 3 of us are, per se.
Not at all.
Got to
So,
really
Boycotted it last year.
Yeah, I didn't buy it last year because had
Yeah.
to make a stand.
So, as we all know, public opinion, at least, of this year's Madden is pretty horrible. Some might say the worst ever. But so, Rick, what do you think about this Madden so far?
Well, I didn't play 20 much, so I don't really have anything to go off of the previous year. But from what I understand, it's more or less the same game.
Well, let's not go more or less.
Yeah.
Let's do what you know.
It's
Okay.
your pure
So,
gameplay feel, Rick.
From what I've played, I guess I like the changes they made for the pass rushing. That's cool.
Yes.
Um,
Rick likes Madden.
I do think though it's just a bare bones game, man. They don't put time into the features that like the core players want, like our franchise mode, which is like what we tend to like play the most of, and they just kind of neglect it. So that just sucks.
But Rick, they added the yard.
The yard is goofy. It's fun, but like I don't know, like it's not the meat and potatoes of the game. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
not a $60
Yeah.
upgrade over last year.
You can wear
Yeah.
your jersey tucked up and you can see your abs.
Which
Or
is
you'd-
cool and all. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I think that's just like it's a very minute feature in the grand scheme of the game and what I expect out of the football simulation game that the EA has like locked down.
But
If they're not going to let anybody else do it, they could at least fucking make an honest attempt to satisfy the core players of the game. But
Have
they
you
just
played
don't.
the face of the franchise mode? Because I think
I have not.
if you did, you'd be a core player who's satisfied.
I can't comment until I actually play it, but I just have a feeling based on the
It's
the
not
previous,
You can skip
you
it.
know.
With
Yeah, that's
no-
what I figured.
With no Colt Cruz and Devin Wade, it's honestly a skip.
Okay.
We should we should follow Rick along on his journey through that game mode.
Face of the franchise.
Get like a let's play with Rick on face of the franchise.
Yeah, Rick, you can be a quarterback, wide receiver, or a running back.
Yeah.
That's groundbreaking.
Yeah, in college, I was a quarterback, but I went back my senior season because they needed help at running back. So I said I'd help them out.
What?
Yeah.
Rick, what happened in your franchise game, dude? Have you played any of the franchise yet?
I played one franchise game. Went in completely. I didn't really know what players were on every team, so I just winged it and picked the Steelers. Turns out, kind of ass.
Oof.
Didn't have a good record,
Who are
but
your hitters?
Yeah, who's
what?
your dogs?
Yeah, who are your dogs?
Who's your Gruden grinders?
I see. That's a thing. I don't have like anybody on that team I really like.
Oh,
Rick,
no.
don't you have Drew Brees? Rick has Drew Brees, dude.
Yeah, I have Drew Brees, but I don't know. When I was playing, I wasn't really able to get a ton going on offense. Probably a mixture of me not being good at the game, and then I just don't know if my offense is set up very well.
Well,
Yeah.
Rick, you have
Okay.
a good, clear shot at the Super Bowl because I think you're the only user team in the AFC.
That is why I went to the AFC. So I had the path of least resistance.
Yeah,
Well,
just get in that playoff.
When Dan McClune buys or steals this game in like 7 months, we'll get him in the AFC. He'll take the Browns, and you'll have some competition.
Yeah.
Nice.
Huffy, what do you think about Madden? I know we play a lot of Madden.
That's for sure. My biggest complaint about Madden 20 was a lot of the animations. You would just kind of get sucked into an animation and you couldn't really do anything about it. A lot of the corners, and you just feel more agile. You feel like you can get through tighter spaces without just getting sucked into like a defensive tackle or something like that. That I enjoy. The gameplay, honestly, I like. I haven't seen too many negatives. I played like 5 or 6 games, and I've played a lot of the yard, and there's not too many negatives that I've had. Yeah. One of the big issues, like from Madden 20, was that if you tried to catch a ball and you even got like tapped, even going across the middle, you would immediately drop it, and that has not been happening to me every time.
I've honestly seen the opposite in this game where I'll like catch a ball, and when he's going down, he'll drop it, and I'll be like, fuck, it's incomplete. And then they're like, oh, no, that was complete. He just got rid of the ball a little early. I'm like, sweet. But Austin, any thoughts on Madden?
I mean, dude, it's been an absolute shit show, in my opinion. Rick, do you remember when we were playing the yard? Rick, like, dives out of bounds, like, deflects a pass, and they count it as an interception fumble, and I fucking scoop it. It's, like, on the ground for, like, 10 minutes. I scoop it up.
It glitched. It was 10 seconds. The dude's kicking the ball around.
There's a big dog pile, people jumping on it. My big
You guys
700.
experienced one glitch. That's not the game's fault. That happened.
Yeah, but I've seen this kind of stuff.
It wasn't the only one that we experienced when we were playing.
We're talking.
I was in a perfect position to make like a game-winning interception. It bounced off my face mask, and then I was running towards the line of scrimmage for at least 10 yards, and the ball just like juggling in midair, and like,
Yeah,
I don't know. It was kind of ridiculous.
Footballs are kind of weirdly shaped. You never know how those things are going to bounce.
they're ovalong, dude. But yeah, they made 0 changes to franchise mode.
That's just not true.
There's 0 changes to franchise mode.
That's just
Besides
not
the
true.
simulation, like if a team's better, it'll supposedly win the simulation.
All of the rookies now have new pictures in, dude.
Yeah, that's like just a roster update.
You said 0 things were
Give me
changed.
$60.
All I know is maybe not at like a macro grandiose scale a lot of changes happened, but the yard is fun, and on a micro tiny level the game feels better to play.
Hunter, I don't know why you're doing this fake devil's advocate right now, dude. We
I'm
all
not.
know.
Those are my honest opinions of this year's Madden.
We all
Do
know
I
deep
think-
down.
Do I
it's
think
the
they could
same
add
thing.
some more features and make franchise cool? Like, could they add a trade finder like 2K? Sure. Could they just generally be better like 2K's franchise mode is? Sure. But I'm cool with what we got.
Hunter, I don't know if
Totally
you've
fine
played
with
enough
$60
good Maddens
for it.
back in the
See,
day to know what you're talking.
Hunter, you have like a Stockholm syndrome with Madden or something, man. I don't quite get it.
We're
Yeah.
just sponsored by EA, by the podcast, so he's really giving it a good word.
If they choose to sponsor us, I will change my opinion.
No, I think
We'll sell out for that EA money, dude.
I think they could change a lot and add a bunch of cool stuff, but I think it is a fun football game.
I guess what really sucks about Madden is all the features that I'd like them to add were just things that they used to put into the game.
Yeah.
And they just decided to stop putting into the game. So and now they'll like do the thing where they'll like add shit back in and act like it's a new feature. Try to do that in years past. And it's like, no, dude, that was like in the game before. You just took it out for no reason.
I played this
was in the game.
I remember.
When we get into the game of the week, we can talk about the
Yeah.
old features that were good.
That's a good segue.
So, well, it's not a good segue because we have a segment before the game of the week. We actually have two segments before the game of the week.
Ooh.
So we'll get into the whoopsie of the week. But this isn't a whoopsie of the week, fellas. This is a whoopsie of the past 7 years.
Oh God.
So as you heard in the Hot 32, the Jacksonville Jaguars have been making some tumultuous decisions in recent history, and it surely seems like they're tanking, which sucks because Gardner Minshew seems like a cool dude, and he definitely doesn't want to lose. And it sucks that he's kind of in that scenario. But ever since Shad Khan bought the team in 2013 and hired on, I think at the time he was the Falcons GM, Dave Caldwell, as their GM, the Jags have been making some pretty questionable decisions. So I just want to examine their first-round picks since 2013 and just, see what the fuck they've been doing. So we're not even going to talk about Blaine Gabbert or Justin Blackmon because that wasn't Dave Caldwell's doing. But, you can just add 2 years of stink before he even got in. So in 2013, and I almost don't want to count this one either because 2013 is a pretty terrible draft. But with the
AJ Manuel draft.
Yeah. With the second overall pick, because Eric Fisher was taken with the first overall pick, the Jags go with generational left tackle out of Texas A&M, Luke Jokel. You know where Luke Jokel is now? Because I sure don't. But last I knew, he transitioned to guard because he couldn't play tackle, and now he's probably out of the NFL. So I think Luke Jokel started on the team for maybe a year and a half and then got cut or something because he sucks. Next year, you have the number 3 overall pick, and you go with Blake Bortles in a quarterback or a seemingly quarterback heavy year when you had the likes of Johnny Football and Teddy Bridgewater. Not that Johnny Manziel was a good football player, but it sure seemed like he was at the time. And Teddy Bridgewater is like a serviceable starter in the NFL. Blake Bortles isn't really.
Yeah, come on. Blake gave you some good years.
See, I would say Blake facilitated the team for a couple decent seasons, but he in no way, shape, or form was contributing to that offense.
No, if anything, Blake just caused negative things to happen to a decent team. The defense kind of carried him, and then Blake would like throw pick sixes and stuff, and Jalen Ramsey would get mad at him. But So next year, 2015, also the 3rd overall pick. The Jaguars come out of nowhere, and they take Dante Fowler Jr. out of Florida. Also kind of weird. The Jaguars have a thing for players from Florida. It's very strange. Not just Florida, but Florida State, and
It's that pipeline, man,
They like
Gotta
to
get the
keep
local
it in the
talent.
roots.
Yeah.
I guess. But you go Dante Fowler Jr. He's got some cool shoes at the draft. White suit, red undershirt, I believe. Gold spiky shoes. But no fault of his own. Tears his ACL first day of practice. That was a sad day for me. But goes in the press conference, assures everybody that he's going to work super hard and he's going to get back better than ever. Doesn't happen. Comes back the next year when we got to draft Jalen Ramsey in the first round, which was, great selection, but we'll get to why that kind of fell apart later. But in that year, you get Jalen Ramsey, you get Miles Jack, and you get Yannick Ngakoue. So Dante Fowler comes back. He's getting outplayed by Yannick Ngakoue, and so he's riding the bench. So after that, we hired Tom Coughlin as our executive vice president of football operations. He comes in, and he says, you know what we need? We have a really, really good defense here in Jacksonville. You know what we need? We need a running back. We gotta choke these guys. So in a draft that featured Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, and Christian McCaffrey, the Jaguars at the 4th overall pick take who was supposed to be the next Adrian Peterson at the time, Leonard Fournette.
Big Lenny.
Yeah, sick. So, 2017, of course, is the Jags season. They go to the AFC Championship game, lose to the Patriots because Miles Jack wasn't down. And this is where stuff starts to get a little hairy. Because, at this point, the Jags are in the playoffs. It's sweet. We went to the championship game. What should we do to continue this success? Well, Blake Bortles did get us there. Maybe we should re-sign him to a contract. So they do that. They re-sign Blake Bortles. We have these two pretty good wide receivers, Allen Robinson and Marquise Lee. But Marquise Lee has never played a full season. Allen Robinson's pretty good, but he did just tear his ACL. You know what? We're going to let Allen Robinson walk, and we're going to re-sign Marquise Lee. So we got that decision. 2018 draft. Let's do something to bolster this team. Help the offense, Defense was pretty good. Some say one of the best defenses of all time. So in the first round at pick 29, we're going to pick Taven Bryan, defensive tackle out of Florida.
To really rotate in on the D-line.
Yeah, get some rotations. He's got some explosive get-off. And I understand that, 30 NFL teams can say this, but the Jacksonville Jaguars, a team in which Blake Bortles was your starting quarterback, who, as we all know, in that Buffalo Bills playoff game, was having trouble with 5-mile-per-hour winds. You take a defensive tackle who I hadn't heard of instead of Lamar Jackson.
Your face when you drafted Taven Bryan was a pure shock. And
where was Taven from?
Florida.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's how they knew about him.
Yeah, and it's 3 years later at this point, and he's still not good. But so yeah, that all happens. Of course, 2018 season is a shit show. 2019 comes around. You gotta cut Blake Bortles. That was a terrible decision, as we all know. You gotta get Tom Coughlin out of the organization because turns out he's making players do all their rehab in the facility, which isn't cool. He's fining players for sitting down, just bad toxic culture with Tom Coughlin. So you got to get him out of there.
Just trying to crack down on these ruffians.
Yeah. But, now that Blake Bortles is out of here, we need a new quarterback. But hey, guess who's on the market? Fucking Nick Foles. Let's give him a mega deal. So we signed Nick Foles. First game of the 2019 season, he gets injured. But 6th round sensation, Gardner Minshew comes in, wins us 6 games. Cool. 2019 draft, we draft the good Josh Allen, which is sweet because he seems pretty good. Nothing wrong there. He might be a guy that we can maybe trade for a 2nd-round draft pick or something.
No, some would say he's elite. I'd keep him around, dude.
Traded Calais Campbell for a 5th-round pick, Austin.
Oh, he's old, dude.
He's PFF's number 1 run block or run stuffing tackle in the league.
He's 34.
But it doesn't matter because all that shit happens. And then this year, take C.J. Henderson at the number 9 spot, Caleb Chase on out of LSU in the number 20 spot. Speaking of which, C.J. Henderson out of Florida. But C.J. Henderson is saying weird stuff on Twitter, being a weird guy, supporting Leonard Fournette, leaving, saying free him. So don't know what's up with him.
Oh, he's already on that train?
Yeah, so nobody wants to be in Jacksonville. Caleb Chase on looks small. He's getting bullied by Cam Robinson and Jawan Taylor, and they both suck, so that's not good. And
Those are
then
a couple more first-round picks.
that doesn't mean you're good.
Yeah, but I'm just saying you didn't even mention their asses, dude.
Well, it's because they weren't first-round picks. Cam Robinson and Jawan Taylor are both twos.
Oh, they're twos.
Yeah.
They're
Jags
fine.
are always winning the draft. They're never winning games.
Yeah.
But, so this week just the tank begun by trading Yannick Ngakoue and then surprise cut of Leonard Fournette out of nowhere because he doesn't fit the scheme, which I don't understand because I feel like he's your best running back. Make it work. And then trading Ronnie Harrison to the Browns for a 5th-round pick. So basically, I wore this 62 jersey today. It's got my name on the back because right now, the only Jaguars jersey that's safe to buy is one with your own name on it.
Wow.
Because they can't cut me.
Wow.
Powerful stuff, Hunter.
That was a very powerful ending, dude.
Yeah.
I feel for you, dog. I feel for you.
Yeah.
But
So-
it'll all change this draft. This upcoming-
Because, the hope is we get like a Trevor Lawrence and a Jamar Chase with our 2 first-round picks. That would be super cool. But I kind of have 2 really bad feelings. 1, we'll get Trevor Lawrence and it'll suck. 2, we'll get like the 5th overall pick and we'll take Trey Lance.
You will.
But yeah. So that's the Jags spiel. I'll be down in the dumps this season. But hey, it's what happens.
Well, thanks for sharing that with us, Hunter.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
This Florida pipeline is pretty weird. Like if you
Yeah,
look
it is weird, isn't it?
7 of the last 8 drafts, they have taken a player from Florida in either round 1 or 2.
Yeah, I know. It's really
Wow.
weird.
That should be looked into, dude. All right.
But before where are they now? Do any of you guys have thoughts on the Jags and what they're doing right now, what they're going through?
I think my personal opinion is Doug Marrone fucked everything up, and it wasn't Tom Coughlin.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm telling you, dude, when the Bills had Doug Marrone, we had a very similar roster. We had a loaded defense. We had fucking Stephon Gilmore. We had Darius. We had, like, Nigel Bradham was playing good. Kiko was playing good. We had Ronald Darby was really good. We had, like, a sick defense, and our offense was pretty good. We were like, we could have easily made the playoffs. We could have beat a lot of teams, but Doug Marrone had beef with a lot of players. Like, he's a dick. And the people didn't want to play there, dude. Stephon Gilmore, like, wanted out. He, like, got injured on his hand and just, like, fucking after that played like shit on purpose so that we would release him the next season. And then he went to the Patriots. Like, everyone wanted out because Doug Marrone built a shitty culture. And then we got McDermott, and he got rid of all those guys, brought in, like, no-name guys who are just hard workers and built a good culture. Like, I think Doug Marrone has a big issue, and a lot of people would have done a lot with that roster.
Yeah. You have always told me that Doug Marrone's a piece of shit, so.
I told you the day they signed him, dude. I'm like, it's not going to end well, dude.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they get that number 1 pick, draft Trevor, and then get Dabo.
Are they sticking with Doug Marrone, though? If you
No.
Yeah.
So I think Doug Marrone gets fired either way, but sadly, I think Dave Caldwell will stick around, which I don't like.
You think
Although-
he's a issue?
I mean, I do, because I feel like it's kind of front office, like retaining the players you drafted. But like Yannick Ngakoue took like $7 million less dollars just so he could leave the Jaguars. Like, that's a terrible sign.
Yeah, that's a big indication of what's going on there.
Jalen Ramsey, like, wouldn't play games, said his back hurt. He's like, hey, you got to get me out of here. I don't want to be here. Like, if you can't hold on to a potential Hall of Famer because your organization sucks, like, it has nothing to do really with football stuff.
Yeah.
It's just people aren't clicking and the culture's not good. Like, that's an issue.
Didn't Jalen Ramsey have a sideline altercation with Doug Marrone
I think so.
before the whole trade?
Yeah, I believe they almost came to blows.
Hunter, as soon as
Wow.
Doug Marrone left the Bills, several Bills came out and said like the horrible stuff he would say to you in practice, and it would just like everyone just hated him.
I don't know. I thought he was just a fun bologna sandwich eating kind of guy.
Well, you know, I think this is a good point for a peeps break.
Yeah.
So just let it all soak in. All right. Huff, are you on the Where Are They Now picture?
Oh yeah, I'm there.
All right. I'll start off with, do you guys have any guesses on who it is?
No.
No.
No one knows? Well, so in the 1980s, a game came out in Japan, and it grew wildly popular, you know? People were playing it. It came over to the U.S. It was all the craze. It was PacMan. Does that give you guys any hint, dude?
I think
Is
so.
that Adam PacMan Jones?
Rick, in 1983, baby PacMan Jones was hossing down a bottle of milk, and his mom said, "You know what? This little baby hossing down this milk looks like Pac-Man gobbling down those little, circles." So that's how he got that nickname. But that is Adam Pac-Man Jones. And, much like the famed video game character, Adam could stop and turn on a dime, but he could also gobble up some ball carriers. But he spent most of his life running from the ghosts of his past.
Yeah, he did have some off the field issues.
Yeah, so we'll get into that. But, Pac-Man grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, in College Park, which is often rapped about by 2 Chainz.
Olive Grove.
Yeah. And when he was 5 years old, his mom was sent to prison, and at the same time, his dad was shot to death in a robbery.
Told you they get sad, Rick.
So then, by the time he's 6 years old, both his parents are out of his life. He's kind of looking up to his uncle. What happens? His uncle gets stabbed to death.
His uncle, Donkey Kong Jones?
Yeah, stabbed to death, dude, in College Grove. And then he, he's growing up, dude. Like, all his friends are just getting shot. Like, just bad stuff is happening to his boys. Like, he just grew up in a very bad environment. He was always getting into trouble. He failed out of junior high in 2 different schools. And then, but he was always telling people, like, he's going to make it to the NFL one day. And one day, someone sat down and was like, dude, if you want to go to the league, you got to, like, pass junior high. Like, you got to get to high school, you got to get to college. So he works real hard, hustles, finally passes junior high, gets to high school, walks in on the first day, gets in a fight with someone and beats their ass and gets suspended for 30 games of the high school football season. But then once he finally got in on the games, he was balling out. He played in the Georgia-Florida All-Star game, which if you're in the Georgia-Florida All-Star game, dude, there's a lot of fucking good players in Florida especially. He was the player of the year, had 120 tackles, 6 picks, and 1,850 rushing yards his senior year. He was an All-American in basketball and track, and he won 2 state championship basketball championships and football championships. So He was balling out, dude. Then he committed to play for West Virginia. So after his uncle died, he was like raised by his grandmother. He goes to West Virginia, and his grandmother passes away his freshman year. And the only game that he missed his entire college career was his grandma's funeral on like one Saturday. But then, he was relatively trouble-free after that in college, except for one time he beat some dude's ass with a pool stick, and he got put on like probation for a while. But, he was fine after that. And, in college, he was known for, like, he didn't get many picks, but when he got an interception, he would fucking take it to the house or get like a really good pick return. And then on punt returns, he was always eating up, just getting huge returns. So he turned pro after his junior season, and he was picked 6th overall by the Titans. And at his pro day, he didn't do the combine, but at his pro day, he ran a 4.38, and he had a 38.5-inch vertical. So Pac-Man was quick, dude. And, almost immediately after he was drafted, he moved to Tennessee and was arrested for assaulting someone at a nightclub in Nashville. And it just started off bad. Like, he didn't even sign his rookie contract yet. So the Titans are like, how can we even trust this guy? Like, he just got in a fight at a nightclub instantly. So they're like not giving him this contract. This is back when you didn't have like preset contracts for rookies. They're like, all right, we'll give you this deal, but like if you get arrested, the whole deal is void. So what happens, dude? Pac-Man plays his rookie season, and then like right afterwards, he gets charged with possession of marijuana and then punches a police officer in the face while he's getting arrested. So like he's instantly lost like all his guaranteed money, but he's still on contract. And then he gets arrested for public drunkenness. This is all his second year, like in the off season. Then he gets accused of spitting in a girl's face, and he was given probation by a judge. Then after that, he was arrested for an assault in another nightclub in Nashville for spitting in another girl's face. And he's just like, he's just on a fucking rampage, dude. And he lost all his money. He has to go back, play for the Titans for like nothing. So he goes in and he plays super good. He's got a few like picks, and he's the best kick returner in the NFL. Like back when Devin Hester was on fire too. Like he was the best returner, even better than him. And the following offseason after that, dude, this is a spicy story. He's at a strip club. All right. It's 2007 NBA All-Star Weekend in Las Vegas. PacMan Jones is at a strip club with Nelly. Making it rain on bitches, dude. They're just throwing like thousands and thousands of dollars on these like couple strippers. Well, all the strippers are trying to get in on it, dude. They come over and they're grabbing the money. PacMan Jones allegedly grabs one of the strippers' heads who wasn't supposed to get the money and starts smashing it on the fucking dance on the floor, dude.
Allegedly.
So this is like a Vegas strip club. Like, you guys know about Vegas strip club bouncers, dude. They're hosses. They come over, they start trying to fight Pac-Man and his squad. Well, Pac-Man's rolling with some big bodyguards too. They're all just in a big melee. Pac-Man ends up like threatening the bodyguards, like saying he's gonna kill them and shit, and leaving the bar. Right afterwards, like some dudes pull up and start shooting the bodyguards and shooting up the club and shit. The one bodyguard got shot in the spine and fractured. The guy that Pac-Man threatened to kill got shot in the spine, fractured his vertebrae, and is paralyzed from the waist down. And the guy was a former WWF wrestler, Tommy Urbanski. And so, everyone's like, dude, it was definitely PacMan Jones' shooter. Like, they were saying it was one of the guys he was with at the club. The guy came back and just fucking put a hit on this guy. But PacMan Jones hired the Ray Lewis lawyer who got Ray Lewis out of the double murder. PacMan Jones got off scot-free. So Roger Goodell's like, listen, dude, I gotta suspend you. Like, you just got arrested like 15 times in 2 years. Like after your rookie season. So Roger Goodell suspends him for the whole season and basically writes him a letter saying like, you can't fuck up again. Like I'll have to take you out. So Pac-Man's like, yeah, all right, I'll clean up my life. He starts wrestling for TNA and he opens up a recording label and starts rapping in like a duo rap group called the Poster Boys, which I'll have to listen to after this. But, he looks like he's, making something out of himself. And the Titans end up trading him to the Cowboys. So Jerry Jones is like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to assign a bodyguard to Pac-Man, and he's going to follow him around 24/7 and keep him out of trouble. Well, almost immediately, Pac-Man is involved in an incident in downtown Dallas with his bodyguard who Jerry Jones assigned to him. So he's suspended 6 games immediately. And the Titans, there was something in the contract that if Pac-Man got arrested, the Titans had to give back the picks that the Cowboys traded. So they got him for free. And they got
Whoa.
their picks back.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but he was a thug, dude. So the Cowboys released him in 2009 after they found out he was a suspect in another shooting outside of a strip club in Atlanta, which was the same circumstances where like another guy came back and shot somebody after he got in a fight. And it's just like the same exact circumstances as the Vegas one. But anyways, nothing comes of that. Pac-Man slides out again.
What year are you on right now, by the
This is 2009.
way?
Wow.
Didn't he still play like a lot of football after all this?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he redeemed himself, Hunter.
He redeemed himself.
So after that whole incident, he signs with the CFL. But in all these interviews, he keeps forgetting what the CFL is called, and he's calling it the UFL. So the CFL gets offended and retracts their offer to him. So he's just out of football altogether. So then he's like, you know what? I'm going to just fucking hold a workout. Teams can come interview me. He's like, keep in mind at this point, he's probably like almost like, he's probably in his 30s. He does this workout and he runs a 4.4.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh shit, Pac-Man might still have it. So the Bengals sign him, dude. And he basically settled into Cincinnati and had a very solid second half of his career. Pac-Man said that Marvin Lewis like saved his life by giving him that second opportunity because he was obviously doing some crazy shit. And then in 2014, Pac-Man got married to his wife, and they went on to have 3 kids. And the same year in 2014, he made his first All-Pro team, and it was the first time in 9 years, you know, he got that recognition. So he like was playing his highest level. And in 7 years with the Bengals, he went to 5 playoff appearances, and his only real incident was against the
7
Steelers.
years with the Bengals? I thought you
Yeah.
said he signed in his 30s.
Yeah, he played a long time, Hunter. Played a long time. So his only real incident was against the Steelers with the Joey Porter incident.
Yeah.
And it was alleged that Joey Porter knew some ways to get under Pac-Man's skin. He knew the right things to say to set him off.
Yeah.
You got any insight on that, Rick?
You know, Joey Porter was he was a shit talker. That was kind of always his thing. So
Yeah.
I'll definitely say Joey Porter, when he was out there, he knew he was talking shit.
and
and as-
Pac-Man's the type of
after-
guy, he throws hands on sight if you say anything to him.
Oh yeah, he's with the shits, as evidenced by his track record.
Didn't
Yeah.
So
Joey Porter get like in trouble at a bar or something after a Steelers game when he was a coach?
yeah, he was out ripping up the town, and I think he got into some altercation with the bouncers or a cop or something.
Oh, you know, full circle. Smart.
Yeah.
But nowadays, you know, Pac-Man, he's settled down with his wife, dude. He hasn't really been getting into too much trouble. He was recently in the headlines like a year or 2 ago because he fucked some dude up at an airport. But it was self-defense because the airport employee was talking shit and came up and started throwing hands on him first.
Oh, man.
So he
Wow.
got off on that scot-free. He actually had a freshly bought bag of Popeyes in his hand. And when the guy started coming at him, he dropped the bag of Popeyes and put up the hands, dude. That's when you know you're about to get fucked up.
So I think that this PacMan Jones one is definitely like the second most heinous besides Kellen Winslow.
No, dude. There was another rapist, wasn't there?
No,
This is still the second most heinous. He's just beating people up and spitting on girls and stuff. Murdering
He had his
people out
shooters
at
kill
strip
some
clubs.
people.
allegedly.
Allegedly.
Rick, I don't know if you heard the Kellen Winslow where are they now, but Kellen Winslow is a bad dude. He's like jerking off
Yeah.
in parking lots and raping homeless people.
Yeah.
What's wrong
Yeah.
with people.
And you may
Yeah.
have heard it on another mainstream podcast, but I will have you know that we did break the news first on Bro Football Focus.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We highlighted it first, at least.
Yeah.
But as always, that was a great "Where Are They Now?" But now, just for a fun game of the week, it's not really Jake's fun game because he's not here.
Yeah.
But this week was chosen by Austin, and I think it's a really good list, pertinent list for things that we talked about earlier. It's the best Maddens. So, Rick, being the special guest, we'll start out with you. What is your third best Madden ever?
So, I just wanted this to be on my list somewhere. Didn't really know how it would work. I guess it's more of my honorable mention. Madden 2000, just based on the song that Ludacris did for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel
When
like
you
it
got
needs to be
Ludacris,
somewhere on
you
this
got it.
list.
Yeah, so Rick, you can just type that in there if you'd like. Is the one with 6 foot, 7 foot somewhere on your list?
I don't think so. Maybe. I don't really remember what game that's on.
That one's definitely on my list.
I don't know either, but I know Rick really liked that song. All right, so my number 3 is a bit of a personal pick, but it's the first Madden I ever played. I liked picking the all Madden team to play against my uncle with, and I vividly remember doing PA rollouts with Kurt Warner. So my number 3 is Madden 2001.
Wow. OG. Huff, who do you got for your number 3?
On my number 3, I'm going with Madden 09. The only reason is because they're willing to take chances. Like, this is back when Madden was still trying new stuff, whether it worked or not. But they're trying, like, Madden IQ. They're giving you ratings for your offense and your defense and, like, showing you how to improve and tried to make it, like, look futuristic for 2009. But I just like that they're willing to take a chance with how the game looked.
Was Drew Brees on the cover of that one?
That might have been 2010. I'm not sure.
2011 was Drew Brees.
Was Brett Favre 2009?
I think Brett Favre was on the Jets. So my number 3 is Madden 25 from 2014. And, I just remember this Madden, I could run the triple option all day long and just fuck kids up with it. And the running just felt really good. Like, if you got a power back like LeGarrette Blount or like Adrian Peterson and Marshawn, you like hit that truck stick, you're going to get 5 or 6 yards every carry.
Nice.
And I believe this is also the franchise where Rick and I like fucking just met in the Super Bowl every year and just had the biggest, hossiest offensive lines and the best running backs we could.
Yeah, those are always barn burners.
Like, Rick and I would just load up on big hosses in the draft. You didn't need corners. You didn't need receivers.
Nah.
It was just a nuclear arms race for hosses.
Yeah,
And you're just trying to
get.
get pure size.
It was hat-on-hat football, as they like to call
Yeah. It was back when size mattered in the trenches.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my third favorite Madden.
Nice. Rick, what's your 2?
I'm gonna go with Madden 07. I think that's the one with Sean Alexander on the cover.
Okay. And what's special about Madden 07?
Madden 07, I believe, is the year that they introduced the truck stick on offense. So that's when they finally added power running into the game.
Oh, okay. On the offense. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. Hit stick came in 05. That was on the defense.
Ray Lewis on the cover.
Yeah.
Okay. So my number 2 shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. It is Madden 16. Because Madden 16 was the first Madden, and maybe the only Madden, or at least one of 2, where the strategy known only as the Moss and Toss.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
that game was trash, dude.
Basically, you're in a franchise with your friends, and you all you have to do is pitch it to the outside or go into 4 verts and toss it up to the guy who's on an island, and you'll get.
Hunter had Kevin White and Leonard Fournette.
There's no way I had Leonard Fournette in Madden 16. He was drafted in 2017.
Well, who did you have at running back? I remember Kevin White was your fucking guy at receiver.
I don't know. I probably had Todd Gurley or something.
Yeah. It was an unstoppable offense of 2 plays, and it was fucked up.
Yeah. But I like it.
Kevin White was better than Julio Jones for some reason.
Because he's super fast.
But yeah, good pick.
Thanks.
Is it Huff?
My number 2, Madden 05, for both the reasons you guys said. Ray Lewis on the cover, looking tough, but also the introduction of the hit stick, which is awesome.
Yeah. That's a good one, dude. Legendary. Back when 2K was making a sick game, Madden had to make a sick game. There was competition in the
That was
market.
the year also that there was like a NFL 2K5. And when 2K5 came out, they price pointed it at $19, and Madden came out at $49, and it ruined their sales. And like, they came out and was like, they dropped their price like a month later to $29 just to compete. And they're like, it actually really hurt us that they did that.
See what happens when there's not a monopoly, dude? The consumer wins.
Yeah.
But we won't talk about that, dude. What we will talk about is my number 2 pick, which is Madden 2010, which had Larry Fitzgerald and Troy Polamalu on the cover. But, the gameplay was pretty good. The franchise was good. And they had, like, the blocking was just right. And the gang tackles were added for the first time. So, like, on old Maddens, like, if one guy was making a tackle, the other guys would just stand around. But this was, like, the first Madden where a bunch of dudes would start piling in. But I just remember, like, if you had AP and you were getting all these gang tackles, you could, like, churn it out and, like, get out and have, like, a bullshit run. Like, that stuff doesn't happen on this Madden because you get the animation. And once the animation starts, you're down, dude. You can't – there's nothing crazy happening anymore. Like, back in the day, you're always alive. They had online franchise. Like, you could schedule a time of when your franchise fantasy draft was going to happen, and you could do it on your phone on an app.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Like,
2009?
Yeah, Madden 10, dude. And, it was the first game when they added Ultimate Team later on in the season. So this is like the last one where they didn't have it. But when they added it, there wasn't microtransactions yet. So, like, it was fun to play. Like, you got a pack of cards and you opened it up and you were just literally grinding. There was no microtransactions. And it was actually really fun. I remember I played a team who is called the 3-headed monster, and it was 3 Danny Woodheads running the triple option.
Wow.
Because you could have duplicate players.
3-headed Danny Woodhead?
Yeah.
That's
pretty
funny.
sweet.
Rick, what's your number 1?
Number 1, we're going to throw it back to Madden 04. Mike Vick on the cover.
Why?
Just because Mike Vick was like, I feel like he's like a generational icon for sports video games. He's kind of like the Bo Jackson of Tecmo Bowl or whatever. So yeah, just having Mike Vick with that like 94 speed, 97 throw power is just a great time.
Okay.
Great time if you're using the Falcons, but whoever you're playing against is probably having a horrible time.
Yeah.
All right. Good pick. My number 1 is Vince Young on the cover, Madden 08. Because not only does it have a bunch of cool features, like I remember in like the superstar mode, like you had your own apartment, like you looked at your cell phone and stuff, like, just a bunch of cool like little features like that. You're going to the combine, you're taking the Wonderlic, but mainly because the soundtrack in this one was pretty righteous. Like it had that Ozzy Osbourne song that I think played like every time you came out of a menu or something.
Yeah.
And it's all I can think of. So,
was it Crazy Train?
No. It's called I Don't Want to Stop or something.
I remember that Madden soundtrack.
Yeah. He's like, all my life I've been over the top. I don't know
Yeah.
what I do. I don't want to stop.
They had that one Tupac song on it.
Probably.
That was a good Madden, dude.
But yeah, Madden 08, best Madden of all time.
I think for my number 1, I got to agree with Rick, Madden 04. But for a different reason, is the mini games in Madden 04 were genuinely fun to play. And you could play them for hours and hours and hours. just doing like linebacker drills, reading the hole, doing coffin corner punts, which is why I'm so good at coffin corner punting, doing swatting balls as like cornerbacks and safeties, and you just have to get to a spot, and it's actually difficult. Like it was the small stuff in that game, which was just super enjoyable, and you don't get that small stuff anymore. It's either just like franchise, yard, and that's it. There's no like small, like, oh, this is cool, this is neat. There's just none of that anymore.
Huffy's a huge mini game guy. If you gave him like a Nintendo Game Boy SP with WarioWare, he'd be like so happy.
Big mini game guy.
So for my number one, I also chose Madden 08.
Yes.
And Hunter touched on a lot of the features, but Madden 08 also had mini games, dude. And I think they were pretty fucking sick too. You could choose your team, and whoever's team you chose, you got the quarterback of. And you could do you could run the 40, do the bench press, do all that stuff against each other. You could do all those drills Huff was talking about. But like if you could choose what type of players you had, like, and they would just give you some generic player. Like you could say, I want a speed receiver, and they gave you like a really fast guy. And then like if I'm playing against like Rick, he could choose like a lockdown corner and compete against a speed receiver in the mini games. But they had like, you could create teams, choose different logos. Like you could modify the logos, change the colors. You could change the uniforms and colors, and you could choose like pre-made rosters. Like they had a Smash Mouth roster. It's just a bunch of like generic hosses and like a big running back and like a tough defense.
Oh, I thought you meant like with members of the band Smash Mouth.
No. Then they had Stadium Editor, dude. You could edit like the end zone like screens, make them big, make them like different, all kinds of different options. They had different like luxury boxes. You could choose the fucking city, what the city looks like in the background. You could make it mountains or like big skyscrapers. You could choose different kinds of domes. You could edit how much the prices on your concessions were. And if they're too high, people wouldn't buy enough and you wouldn't make enough money. But if they're too low, people would buy more.
You can do that now.
You can, dude. In this one, I would always do a franchise. This was the first Madden that I had, and I hated everyone on the Bills but rookie Marshawn Lynch. So I would do a fantasy draft, take Marshawn, just like get a really sick line and fullback and just make him a Hall of Famer. But also in the franchise, you could hire offensive and defensive coordinators. And like if you got like Cliff Kingsbury, like he's obviously better with like a like rookie quarterback and like good receivers, and that would boost them up. Or like, and then if your coach retires, you could promote him to head coach. It's just realistic, dude. They had like newspapers you could read. They had, you could check email. You're getting emails from your OC.
Is that the one also where like after the game they would do like, it was like an in-studio Sports Center update kind of deal?
I don't know if that was Madden 08, but I forgot to mention Madden 2010 had the like NFL Network thing kind of in the middle, and they'd like tell you break down what happened the other franchise games. Yeah. That was fucking sick. Also on Madden 08, you could check like the Pro Bowl voting weekly. So you could see like if one of your guys is just on the brink of making it, you could like feed them the rock and get them in there. You could see like what teams your players came from. Like if we sim like 10 years and you look on it, it'll just show the years on this new Madden. But on the old one, you could see like, oh, he played for Buffalo for 4 years. Then he went to the Vikings. Then he went here. Like it just had historical info. You could export your team. Like if you build a sick team that you really fucked with, you could export it and just use it in Play Now online against your friends. You could fucking make a new franchise with that same exact team. Like you could do whatever with it and just have that team available to use. Like I could play Trench with my team from this franchise that I made, and he could play me with his from that one. We got the same type of players. And you could, like, dude, it was just like the franchise was so in depth. There's so much stuff to do. It just makes you so disgusted at this game. Like, I wish we could just download Madden 08 and fucking rip one with updated rosters.
For your number 2 for Madden 10, I believe there was also like a Hall of Fame thing, and you could go check the Hall of Fame, and not only could you check it, they'd have like 5-minute highlight videos for like Barry Sanders and everyone in the Hall of Fame, and you could just watch them right in the middle of the game.
Dang, dude. Yeah, like they had good ideas in the past. Like they had good stuff in the game.
Listen, That one was great. People call it the last great Madden, but Madden 16 is free on EA Access. We can all download it right now and start mossing and tossing. Odell's on the cover. Let's go.
That's why that game is all moss, because they added the Odell animation.
Yeah.
So everybody just had the ability to dive back and make a one-hander.
Yeah. But, all right. That does kind of really bring to light how bad Madden is now. But,
I'm glad you finally,
Yeah, there used to be quite a bit of depth to that game.
yeah.
But
I'm having fun with this year, though. But we got one final thing on the agenda, and that is, of course, the finale of the Sickest Stash bracket. As we all know, the finale is Cameron Jordan versus Gardner Minshew. Holy shit. This is a tight one, fellas. It is a tight one.
Dude.
This is clear.
You think this is clear, Huffy? I think if you're just looking at the mustaches and not the movements. All right. Well, everyone, with a very, very tight race, 52-48. It looks like the fans of Pro Football Focus and everybody on the Instagram thinks that Jacksonville Jaguars scapegoat and QB Gardner Minshew has the sickest stash in the NFL.
Wow.
well,
You know, it's good for the brand, Hunter.
Wow.
It is. They need something. And I want to say, there was no collusion whatsoever involved. Like, this is a completely natural vote.
Eggs Pats right here. No collusion at all.
Oh, yeah. You know, we've been known to skew the vote sometimes and change it last second.
But I honestly, I think Cam Jordan has a sicker stash, but
it doesn't have the same cultural movement.
It didn't start a cultural phenomenon. People weren't wearing mustaches to Saints games, but wow. Congrats, Gardner. So now next step in this process, I'm going to write him a very emotional DM, and if that doesn't work, maybe a letter or something, see if we can't get a sick video response for the cast.
Yeah. You know, if we could somehow reach out to Gardner and he could just hear about this and get on the cast somehow.
Yeah.
I feel like he would be the perfect fit, dude.
He would be. And I mean, I know he's busy. He wouldn't even have to come on. He could just maybe shoot us a 10-second thank you or something. That'd be sweet. But whatever. Or even just a tweet or something. Who knows?
We'll mail him a shirt, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. A hot BFF injection shirt.
Yeah.
Hot off the press. But that's it for episode 19. Rick, thank you so much for coming along. We're very happy to have you. Glad to finally have you. And once we get through our guest rotation, hope to have you back sometime soon.
yeah, definitely would come back on. I had a good time. Glad we could finally make it happen.
Yeah, maybe we can talk about some in-season stuff, hopefully, if football happens.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully all the players do their part to socially distance and just not get their own.
I just thought about it. We do this on Saturdays and the games take place on Sundays, dude. So
I thought that they were going to start doing Saturday games this year, but maybe with college football seeming to actually might happen, maybe they're going to not do that. But
we might have to
we'll
switch
see.
the day up mid-season, but who knows? Doesn't matter.
yeah.
We'll figure it out. But, yeah, that's it for episode 19. So thanks for coming along. Check us out on Instagram at Bro Football Focus. Check us out on Twitter at Bro Football Focus with 1L. Head on over to the YouTube, comment, subscribe. But if you're watching this, you probably already did. So we'll see you next time for episode 20, the Jalen Ramsey episode. Rick, wave at the camera real quick.
We all wave.
Huffy, do it. There we go. Okay.